We came all the way to Peru for this, and you can't even see anything. And too many tourists. I don't like it. So finally, this is what we came all the way to Peru for. And while we were driving up here, there were so many clouds. I didn't think we could see anything, but look at this. Now, if you're wondering if the hype is worth it, between the crowds and the expensive prices, I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, these mountains are just so dramatic. They come out straight out of the ground, almost vertical, and they're covered in vegetation. So it's really beautiful, and the clouds descend into these valleys. So it's one of the most impressive landscapes I've ever seen in my life. So we just got up here. It's about a 45-minute hike, and we're here at Intipunku, which was the original entrance to Machu Picchu. It's beautiful because from here you can see the entire city. Well, you can't really see it right now because it's covered in clouds. The entire way up, it was raining. So, you know, like if you're planning to visit Machu Picchu, you might as well come for 2 days because you get a lot of days like this where it rains. I mean, you're in the cloud forest. You can't bargain with the weather. So, you know, it's a once in a lifetime kind of adventure, and you gotta plan for different scenarios. So today is our second day hiking Machu Picchu, exploring this beautiful park, and we're doing a completely different route. So today we're hiking the Huayna Picchu. That's the mountain that you see in all the iconic photos of Machu Picchu, the pointy peak. And it's supposed to be a pretty hard hike, so we wanted to leave it for day 2, but let's see how it goes. This is what the archaeological site of Machu Picchu looks like from the top of Huayna Picchu. And you see that little tiny mountain over there? That's Machu Picchu itself. So when you're talking about hiking Machu Picchu, it's not as impressive as hiking Huayna Picchu and the stairs of death. So I guess this is the benefit of slow travel, is that we get to really explore these beautiful places and not just come in for like an afternoon. I was watching a video where a guy was saying he woke up at 4 a.m., took a bus from Cusco, then a train, and they got here and it was all clouded, so they couldn't even take pictures. But we're here for 2 days and we get to like really enjoy this place away from the crowds and tourists, which kind of takes away from the experience.
Yeah, you totally get a chance to soak up, nature. Yesterday here, it was drizzly, rainy. It was great because it's kind of mystical, but it's lovely to see Machu Picchu on this side with the sun out and experience that.
Yeah, exactly. We get to see the park from all these different directions, and I mean, it is really awe-inspiring. And when you're out there in the main circle with like hundreds of tourists, it can be a little bit annoying. But once you get off the beaten path and hike these trails, it's incredible. It's amazing.
And that's the advantage of slow travel, but you got to have bandwidth. And to have bandwidth, you got to be able to make money, right? In this reality. So you have to find creative ways. And in this new post-pandemic reality, you only get this one lifetime. So you definitely want to take advantage of it and not wait till some future event.
Till you're retired and you can't hike anymore.
Till you're retired.
And when I say we're into slow travel, I really mean it. To get to Machu Picchu, we first took a bus from Cusco over the winding mountain passes and landed in the sacred valley of the Incas, where we spent almost 3 weeks visiting each of the little towns along the Urubamba River Valley, until we finally got to Ollantaytambo, from where we took a famous Machu Picchu train to Aguascalientes. The train ride itself was pretty spectacular. It passed along roaring mountain creeks and 20,000-foot glacier-covered peaks. We got slightly more expensive tickets so that we could enjoy the views from an open-air car, and it was definitely worth it. If you want to experience real Peru outside of the Disneyland of Machu Picchu, you will want to spend some time in the Sacred Valley. The valley has many cute towns like Ollantaytambo, which is the last stop in the Sacred Valley, where the road stops. And from there, you can either take the train or walk for 5 days to get to Aguascalientes. But the town itself has some pretty impressive Incan ruins that you can see from any point in the city. This is what's so incredible about this part of Peru. Everywhere you go, you see world-class archaeological sites, like the ancient agricultural laboratory of Morai, where Incas developed many strains of new crops, and many more just like it. So we're at the ancient Inca outpost. The Incas created this archaeological site in Pisac so that they could see if any enemies were approaching to attack Cusco. And of course it was like a full settlement, so they had these amazing terraces for agriculture. They would grow up to 1,000 different types of potatoes, 200 different types of corn. Each of the terraces is up to probably like 20 feet tall or even more. And from here you can see the Urubamba River Valley, and the town of Pisac is down below. Pisac has one of the largest and best preserved Incan archaeological sites, but very few people visit it compared to Machu Picchu. If you're ready for a workout, you can hike to the top of it from the bottom of the valley. The hike takes about 2 hours and rewards you with stunning views. What has put Pisac on the map in recent years, however, is not its ruins, but its spiritual community. This little settlement is the first town you'll encounter in the Sacred Valley after crossing over the mountain ridge from Cusco, and it has become pretty famous among expats who come here for New Age retreats and ceremonies. You'll find no shortage of events like music, yoga, breathwork, massage, Reiki, workshops, and other activities here. And this is the reason why we decided to visit this lovely town, to get a feel for what life is like in the Sacred Valley. We're coming to the end of our 10-day stay in Pisac, and honestly, I wish we stayed longer here. There's just so much to do.
Yes, wow, I got some sun today. There's a great outdoor gym, yoga studio, kind of partially outdoors, so it's great. You want to do movement, you can do things out in the grassy area, get some sun.
Yeah, he found the perfect gym for him, and I found the perfect yoga studio because, you know, I like to do yoga, and when we're traveling in Colombia, traveling in general, it's hard to find a studio that you like. But here I actually have found a teacher that I really like, and I've been going to classes almost every day. It's great.
Yeah, also when it comes like the holistic lifestyle, actually, what's been really nice is we've been getting chiropractic treatments like every other day.
Yeah, no,
for
really great.
Like $20 a session, and it includes breathing work, so it's great. So you get like a half-hour session, all this breathing work. So when it comes to like holistic living, consciousness, speaking of that, there's a lot. In Pisac here, there's a lot of medicine,
Alternative
curanderos, shamans.
Yeah, so you can also come here for like, you know, retreats and ceremonies where they do cambo and ayahuasca. There's a lot of that too.
Berdo. Yeah, they kind of whatever, they kind of have a lot in the menu here.
Yeah, and yoga teacher training, breath work, you know, all these types of workshops. I mean, there's really a sense of community. There's a place called Soul Seed and Vida, and they offer like so many different workshops from like relationships to yoga. Kind of, it's definitely our cup of tea.
It kind of reminds you a little bit of like Boulder in the mountains, because you're surrounded by this beautiful, really dramatic mountains. And but in terms of like, you know, into alternative lifestyle, kind of a little bit new agey on steroids, I would say.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's a small community, and you can get anywhere you want relatively easy, which is really nice.
Yeah. And you can find a lot of things too. Like, for example, like if you want like organic cosmetics, something that's natural, there's plenty of that here. And also like all food preferences, they cover it all.
Yeah, and they have great cappuccinos as well.
Yeah. So we're here at this nice cafe. There's actually a botanic garden right behind us. So I've been working here almost every afternoon, and there's this little kitty that comes up and sits next to me, and you know, there's a roof, but you have this beautiful view of the garden, and so you feel like you're working outside in a really nice place.
And there's a great archaeological site right in walking distance from here, a 2,000-foot climb. There's waterfalls nearby. Especially, this is the dry season, there's still water. I can't imagine what it is like after the rainy season. It's got to be absolutely gorgeous.
So Pisac is really like a nice place if you want to come to go kind of away from your day-to-day routine and try out something new. You can still encounter all the comforts that you're probably used to back home.
There's a lot of nomad, I would say there's a lot of nomad travelers here, you know, like world travelers that travel all around the world. So it's kind of a traveler's spot. And there's a lot of adventure travelers from all over the world as well.
The travelers who come here are really from all over the world. I have heard so many different languages spoken in the Sacred Valley of the Incas, including even Russian, which really surprised me considering how far away Russia is from Peru. But what surprised me even more is that even in these remote towns, you can find amazing restaurants. We enjoyed some 5-star dining experiences in the otherwise unassuming town of Urubamba, where we stayed for a few days at an amazing Airbnb that looked like a converted Spanish convent. And the views are beautiful not only outside, but there's this really cool common space inside here that looks like it's left over from the convent. There's a nice archway with columns, But the best part is these amazing paintings. I'm not sure who painted them, but they portray the scenes of the Spanish conquest and the stories of how the Incas fought back. So it's a really interesting fusion of Catholicism and the local indigenous culture. They don't call this place the Sacred Valley for no reason. It is truly a magical place where nature, culture, spirituality, and adventure collide to provide an unforgettable experience. I would definitely come here again, and secretly, I'm already planning my next trip to Peru. But for now, we're off to our next destination. First, we're going to visit Uruguay, and from there, take a ferry to Argentina. If you want to follow our journey, click subscribe so you never miss a video.